Climbing up to Gay Street, I looked back and didn't see the stylish old man behind me. I'd kind of expected him, but this made me confident I was alone. The walk was nice. I was kind of used to mile-long walks. I remembered them from my youth as the normal, though that was in 1958, nearly 60 years ago. I haven't had a full week in the sun since my brother sang me out of Purgatory to know what the new normal is. 2 miles to school, mostly downhill, a mile to Benny's Burgers or the pharmacy or church, depending on the day of the week. Then I'd hike 1 mile home, mostly uphill. I dreamed of a real burger and fries and butterscotch milkshake all the way down to Church Street. I was clearly not paying attention, but when I did, I realized that I'd seen the old guy in front of me. With his hair covered, he seemed younger. He was wearing a black cowboy hat and a long duster, which was pretty common in Knoxville, though the duster might have been a bit warm tonight. I focused for a moment and realized it was the same old man under that coat. He just didn't look the same. So I can't say what set me off, but I knew it was him. He was trying not to be noticed. He walked casually, not trying to get anywhere, but heading in the general direction of the car park. If I didn't know it was him, I'd have assumed it was a patron of some other bar in the neighborhood, the last man heading home. Still, I knew it was him. He walked slow, and I walked fast, so I was gaining on him. He stepped up his pace. I didn't know if he thought I'd made him or if he just changed tactics. Everything I know about spying, I learned from Jimmy Stewart. He wasn't fast or anything, just faster. He stepped into an alley a couple blocks ahead of me. I looked around for a different route. I could backtrack a block or cross the street, but I wasn't crossing in front of that alley. I was a tough chick, but not a stupid chick. If you assumed somebody couldn't take you in a fight, you were going to lose that fight. I'm going to repeat that because I don't think I take my own advice often enough. The fight you are sure about winning is the fight you are going to lose. I got close-ish to the alley, checked the street, empty. I put one foot into the street when a trash can fell over with a loud plastic noise. I heard a thump and a whomp against the brickwork, and my curiosity got the better of me. I suspect I should have made a different decision, gone right instead of left, but I looked down the alley. There was my little dark-haired boy with the chest muscles, the crummy tipper in a Kawasaki jacket. He was engaged in beating the stuffing out of the old man. He didn't seem to be making any effort at it, and the old guy wasn't putting up much of a fight. He hit him, bounced him off the wall, and then just stood there till the old guy straightened up. He moved, fast as lightning, and popped the old guy again. He bounced him off the garbage cans this time. The old guy fell down. The kid dropped on him and slapped him with a slow back-and-forth motion. "Hey!" I said. "Stay off of him!" Curiosity had been satisfied, but sense hadn't shown up yet. The ugly man, the guy who'd been following me, was down. He had blood down the front of his nice linen shirt. The kid shoved off of him, standing up and stepping back in one smooth motion. My, he said. Today just gets better and better. He was still a cute kid, but the old man had tagged him at least once. He had a split lip and blood around his mouth. It just looked disgusting. He wasn't much bigger than me, and he still looked fresh out of high school. Somehow, between the bloody face and the stance, he looked menacing. I didn't want this getting off on the wrong foot. He was still cute. Really, he looked like a good catch. The Kawasaki gear was new, the spiky haircut was neat, and the muscle tone looked good enough to eat. If Hades was sending this fellow to be my romantic match, I wouldn't complain a bit. I know, me and bad boys. Add to it, he had just saved me from a stalker, so I really didn't want to get off on the wrong foot. Still, I wasn't quite ready to take him behind the barn. It was a bit scary. I didn't have a knife on me or anything else, but in general, I've never had to have one. Despite the rumors, pretty girls didn't tend to be molested in small Appalachian towns. Usually, some young fellow would be willing to assist me if I were feeling threatened. Now, for some reason, I'm doing the assisting. Again, I was somehow on the wrong foot with this guy. The plot feels like a romance novel, which I've played more than once. If I could get the footing right on this scene, then I'd be back on script and there might be some kissing. Look, y'all, I was putting my thickest accent on just for his pleasure, cocking my hip out a bit. I don't mean to get in the middle of you all's fight. It just seemed like he was down and, you should lay off of him. The boy moved, fast. His hand was at my throat and I was slammed up against the bricks. He hadn't heard a word I'd said to him. So, sunshine, do you taste as sweet as you talk? He smiled then, and it was a brutal smile. His teeth were long and jagged, like a wolf's. I'd fallen off script, and I was lost. I had no idea what to do now. Stop, I said. My voice was weak, even to myself. I pushed him back, and we were both surprised a bit when he took a step back. My leverage against the wall must have been pretty good. I shoved him back into the middle of the alley and cocked my fist to lay him out. My brother had taught me the jab, cross, haymaker move. He said that it worked for him. I felt a fine sweat break out on my body and my heart slammed in my chest. I answered as calmly as my voice would allow. It's purity. Pure, if you like. And I'm pretty sure we could come out of this friendly if y'all just cool your jets a bit. He looked at me straight in the face, and I looked into those deep brown eyes. I put a good smile on my face, and I don't remember what happened next. I just lost my train of thought. He slapped my hands away, and it seemed like the veil just fell off of the world. He saw me as food. Nothing else. I wasn't a woman in front of him. I was literally a piece of meat. He didn't care about my words, actions, nothing. There was nothing in that alley but him and his dinner. I tried to raise my arms, but I couldn't get a punch off. He grabbed my arm and tore me off the wall. I was airborne a moment, then the pavement smacked the back of my head. The thump sounded terrible, and he dropped on me with his full weight. I wasn't feeling pain or anything, but I knew in my gut that he'd killed me there. The arm was probably broken, the head crushed. His teeth were savaging my neck. I still didn't feel like moving. Despite the terror and the injury, I was strangely calm. A minute passed. More. I lay on the ground like I was dead. I thought I'd walked away from the action, but Hades' play had found me again. Here I was. I had somehow forgotten to fall in love with anyone. But I was dying for them all the same. The thing in the Kawasaki jacket slid off of me and stood. He wiped his mouth with the back of his jacket. The arm of his jacket torn with many slices of his teeth. The blood almost certainly not his own. Sweet pure. He smiled, and a veil of illusion covered him again. He was just a young man with a modern biker jacket. Nice, and probably misunderstood. At least I remembered your name. It ain't much. But I expect in the morning it'll be all you've got.